Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl Nkosi. I wish I had what is this called, sound effects whenever I'm talking. I mean, I can obviously add them, but I'm just saying in real life, like, I always feel like I have drum roll moments and I have cricket moments. But anyway, let's get into the video. Today we are talking about the oh so dreaded menses, menstrual cycle, periods. We're talking about, all the, I can't say nasty because it's a natural thing, but all the things that you probably thought about, but maybe you didn't know who to ask. And I'm the girl. I'm the girl. I'm the girl to ask. Okay, so I'm gonna share, we're gonna go in order. So we're gonna talk about products to use when you're on your menstrual cycle. We're gonna talk about contraceptives, and we're gonna talk about health related queries or questions that some people have asked me. So I'm going to start off with what I use. So generally my period is very light. I used to have a very heavy cycle, and then I got onto the pill, and that was prescribed to me by my doctor because I was experiencing really heavy menstrual cycles that would stop me from attending school, stop me from attending lectures. I was passing out at school, and we both just decided that, look, if there's a way to balance out my hormones, let's do that. So I started off on the pill called Zoli in South Africa. You can find it also in the United Kingdom. I'm not sure about other countries, but I know you can find it online. But make sure you have a prescription. Don't just prescribe things for yourself, because it doesn't work, and I'm going to tell you why. So for a very long time, Zoli was out of stock in South Africa, and my doctor then prescribed Yaz, and Yaz was working okay-ish, but I started getting really bad menstrual migraines. Then we decided to move to Clara, and then I left South Africa and I can't find Clara where I am, so I decided to find another doctor. Doctors here were like they were really blasé about it. Nobody really gave me a solution. So I did some research on my own, and what I'm about to say is not to insult anybody's intelligence, but considering I've been on the pill before, I knew what kind of ingredients worked the same as others. I did a lot of research before I decided to even get onto the pill. I spoke to my parents about this, and they were like, okay, it's fine. So I decided to do my own research again to find out what pill would work for me, and I found Yasmin. Now Yasmin is very close to the I guess, what can you call this, the hormones that the body produces naturally. So it is possibly one of the better options. So I was used to taking ethanol estradiol and Dynogest, I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I found Yasmin, which is, let me look this up quickly. Yasmin, come on, hurry Google. Okay, so Yasmin is drospirenone, which is progestin, and let's see, yeah, so it is drospirenone and ethanol estradiol, which again is something that my body was used to. I took that pill and I took it the wrong way. I forgot to do it the correct way, and I ended up having menstrual migraines, and I ended up having a period that lasted more than 10 days. So again, it's very important that you consult a doctor, preferably an OBGYN, but if you can't, a GP can help you. and can possibly give you a referral to see an OBGYN. So I took it the wrong way, it went left, but now I've learned to do it the correct way and we're now in a better place. I decided to move a little bit and get into the products that I use when I'm on my period. So of course people are absolutely free to use whatever products they want to use. For me, because as I already mentioned, I was taking the pill, my period became very light. So, you know, one of those who's been chosen by God is me. My period is so light, I don't use anything but panty liners. Yes, panty liners for my period. That's how light my period is. And I'm not advising people to just go and start asking to be prescribed the pill unless you have dysmenorrhea, unless you have some medical condition that requires you to be on the pill. Don't. Like, there's absolutely no reason. It's the natural, you know, response that our body takes when an egg is not fertilized. It just releases the egg. Simple. And we shouldn't, you know, just be quick to try and find easy ways to manage our periods. But at night, just in the event that my period gets a little bit heavier, not heavy, but heavier, I use the same brand, Kotex. By the way, I do not like Always. I think they're too thick. They just don't feel great for me. They just, yeah. I use the same brand, Kotex. This is the all night extra long period period pad. See how pretty that is? I don't know, I just love the designs. I love the designs on the Kotex pads and their panty liners. So for me, another thing is I do not use the deodorized panty liners. I just use the normal panty liners. I think those are great. Now, this is something that I've gone back and forth with myself about cleaning down there. So throughout the day, considering I don't use tampons, I don't use a menstrual cup, I use panty liners, and sometimes my cycle does get a little bit heavier. Through the course of the day, there is a little bit of an odor, you know? So what I use to clean myself when I go to the bathroom and I pee is a feminine cleansing cloth. Now I understand for a lot of people they don't believe in using feminine wash. I don't. And cleansing cloths, but when I'm on my period, I feel like to just make sure that there's no excess blood or something that drips all over, just to make sure I'm completely clean down there and not in the actual vagina around, you know. We're talking about the labia. I use the Summer's Eve feminine cleansing cloth. So this is what it looks like. That's what I use. I think I got rid of the box. So I'm sorry I can't show you the box to show you what they look like, but that's what they look like in the small pack. Very discreet, and I think they're absolutely great for cleaning up during your period. At no other point do I use them, but if you think that you're sensitive to cleansing cloths, you can walk around with baby wipes, because baby wipes often aren't scented. I use the Dove baby wipes when I'm not using these cleansing cloths, and they've done me absolutely great. So let's move on to the next thing. So now we're moving on to health concerns when you're on your period. So I'm obviously not a licensed medical practitioner, but I do believe that certain experiences from my experience can help someone out there. And if it's you and some of these symptoms apply to you, please go see a doctor. If you find yourself having migraines, and I'm not talking about a headache, a migraine, you know, during your period, you most definitely need to go and see a medical practitioner about that, because it's not normal. Another thing is having an extremely heavy period is not normal, ladies. Your period should not be extremely heavy. It should be in between. It shouldn't make your life so uncomfortable that you're constantly having to run around and change your pad or change your tampon. Yeah, no. Hopefully in my next video, if I do a next video on this, I will have a menstrual cup so I can show you what it looks like. There are different kinds of cups. There's the reusable one, and I know it goes for $50 in the US. I'm not sure if they ship to Africa. I don't know if they ship to African countries, but I know that there's a period cup that you can reuse. And for some ladies, I've heard them say that it's more comfortable for them to put it in and take it out when they're showering, for hygiene purposes, and just generally to squat over the loo is a little bit dangerous because you can easily like try and pull it out, and because it doesn't have something to grip onto, you can fall into the toilet. You can fall into the toilet, and you don't want to reuse a cup that's fallen into the toilet. So yeah, back to, you know, health concerns. Yeah, I feel like if you're having menstrual migraines, if you have a heavy period, if you have a really shaky mood, as in your mood is extreme, it goes up and down like a week before your period, you should probably see a doctor about that. And I would suggest that you try and track these symptoms between a week before your period to a week after your period, and see if those changes are changing with each month. I would say maybe track it for 2-3 months and see if that, you know, shows any consistency. Because some people may have one period where they're like, oh gosh, this complete cycle has just made me so anxious, it's made me so moody, but there's no real way to track it. If you feel like you want to track it and you'd like a form, I have a form from a website that I, you know, used, and I can send it to you via email. So basically what I'm leading to is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is a severe disabling extension of premenstrual syndrome, or PMS, right? So some of the symptoms include extreme mood shifts, like I spoke about, which can disrupt your work and damage your relationships, extreme sadness, extreme hopelessness, irritability, or anger, plus the common PMS symptoms such as breast tenderness and bloating. Also, if you are losing sleep a week before your period, you should probably try and track that as well. If you're feeling extremely fatigued, you should try and track that as well, because these things disrupt your daily life. And when you see that your mood is now affecting your relationships, again, that's not normal. Your period should be a natural process that your body goes through, but it should not be something that disrupts your life and your relationships. So for me, that's everything I can think of off the top of my head. I really hope that this video helps somebody out there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a happy period.